Alright, and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be looking at tackling, and specifically tackling from behind. So one of the things when you're tackling from behind that you always want to do is to roll your opponent away so that you don't land on their back. If you land on the player's back and you drive them into the ground from behind like that, you're going to be called for a free kick for pushing the back, and it's going to be a free kick to the player who gets tackled. So we're going to look at one example here from the Carlton-Port Adelaide game of how not to do it, and then we're going to look at 3 examples of how when you're chasing a player from behind you can tackle and roll them away to get the turnover instead of giving up a free kick. So here we are, throw-in coming from the boundary. We're going to watch quickly here this part of the ground, and we're going to see the tackle that's applied by the Carlton player. So ball gets thrown in, player picks it up and is immediately tackled from behind, and as you can see, as the player lands, the Carlton player in the blue lands, he's landing directly on his back and he's driven him into the ground. And so that's going to be a free kick. We'll watch it one more time. So ball gets thrown in. And you can see here that as he's landing, he's driven into his back and he's driven the Port Adelaide player into the ground. And so that's always going to be given as a free kick to the Port Adelaide player. And that's not how you want to be tackling from behind. Let's jump over now to a good example of how to tackle from the Brisbane-Collingwood game. So Brisbane's just kicked the ball into the midfield to their player here. The ball is going to end up being played on, and we're going to watch the tackle in this part of the ground and watch how he rolls away instead of driving into his back. So looks for a handball, gives off the handball, and now you see the chase coming. He's tackled him from behind. He's got his arms wrapped around him just as he goes to deliver the kick, and watch the way he rolls away. So there you go. He's landed on his side rather than driving into the player's back, and that is going to end up as a holding the ball free kick against Brisbane, and it's going to be Collingwood's possession in the white and the black for laying a correct tackle while the player had a chance to get rid of the ball. Another good example here from later in the same Collingwood-Brisbane game. So we're going to watch again how this chase down tackle, he's going to roll away. So handball, gets away from one tackle, gives the handball off. Now watch this chase coming from this player number 4 here in Brisbane, coming from the side this time. Good chase, pulls him down, which is okay because he doesn't go over top of the shoulder, but again, pulls him backwards, rolls away from the tackle and brings him down, pinning the arms. And it's a holding the ball against Collingwood, Brisbane free kick. Let's watch that again. Chase, good chase. Collingwood goes for the stiff arm, but he gets wrapped up and pulled down in a good tackle. So that's a really good technique as you're running full pace like that against a player running past you. One final example here, this time from Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. This time we're going to watch the way that the player making the tackle pins the player with the ball's arms so that he's not able to make a hand pass or get rid of the ball, and then, like we said, roll away so he's not driving into his back. So this ball is going to go into the forward pocket here, and we're going to watch the tackle. So ball gets kicked in front of the player running here. This player's giving chase, and as he steps, he's pinned the arms, and he's wrapped him up and rolled him away. And that Port Adelaide player is unable to get rid of the ball, as his arms have been pinned. Watch this angle here. Really good tackling technique while you're at that kind of pace to be able to wrap the player up, roll them, not drive through the back, and results in this case, a ball up because the Port Adelaide player did not have an opportunity to get rid of the ball. It's a ball up. So that's a bit around the prior opportunity rule, which we'll cover later, but basically if the player with the ball has a chance to get rid of it and chooses not to, it's a turnover, and if they pick it up and are immediately tackled, like in this example, it's just a ball up. But there you are, 3 really good examples of tackling technique and one contrasting example of an in-the-back free kick. So remember when you're tackling, especially at speed like that, to always make sure that you're rolling the player in the tackle rather than driving through their back.